So this was a pretty interesting arena run involving the Mosquito, the Hedgehog, and the Toad. Pretty much the idea behind this run was to have the Mosquito shoot its rocks that deal 1 damage, but activate the Toad's hurt abilities, so that 3 of their team gets a weakness, and then the Hedgehog, of course, deals 2 damage to all. When it's weakened, it's really dealing 5 damage to all, which seems like a pretty decent amount. It took me 3 tries to sell that Kiwi there, pay no attention to that, but yeah, it pretty much means I'm really just looking for this Mosquito start pretty hard, but just one right now, and level 2 Otter's pretty good. Solid early stats and got the Moth. Usually I think if you have a Moth, you want to put something with really low attack in front, just so it becomes an actual useful unit. Except for maybe later when, well, even later rounds, I usually just have something to like potentially pop melon armor, but there's no melon armor in this pack, so I guess it depends on what's in the pack. But still, just pretty much rolling for otters, mosquitoes here. Finally get one mosquito. I think so. I spent 7 gold this turn and just bought one mosquito. Not exactly a strong turn, but I was really searching for this. It took me quite a while to actually get a run that involves using this strat. Turns out not super OP. It's still fun though. I enjoyed just using the toad and the hedgehog. I mean, the hedgehog's got to be like one of the most fun units. It's so chaotic. But yeah, hedgehog and toad, and plus in the later rounds you can get like pineapples on your hedgehogs, and then eventually 1-ups because the 1-up will act perfectly. Because instead of just dealing 5 damage, now you're dealing 10 damage. So it quickly stacks up to like somewhat significant amounts. It's obviously not going to hold up super late game when everything's like a 50-50. But if you continue to just add more and more hedgehogs, then who knows? It seems like it could work. If you get like 2 hedgehogs, 2 1-ups, suddenly you're dealing 20 damage. It's not bad. Anyway, there's a pineapple. Go ahead and freeze that. And there's the toad that I was looking for. The problem with the toad is that it's going to die right now to my hedgehogs. And also, I should have rearranged those 2 hedgehogs at the front because the first one just killed the second one. So I missed out on 1 attack. But it also means I'm going to get a lot of draws because I don't have like honey in the back or anything. This pack that I'm using is just a custom pack that mostly revolves around snipers. It's got some just random scaling units. It's nothing too crazy, but yeah, go ahead and sell the clownfish. It is a great scaler, and I'd love to get level 2 hedgehog, but for now I'm just going to keep the 2 separate. And hopefully find garlic for the toad so that it doesn't die. Actually, it'll still die. Hopefully I find like, I guess next turn we can buy a pair and then get garlic, or just find another toad in the shop so it does not die to these hedgehogs. But as you can see, Mosquito applies weakness on their biggest unit, and then the hedgehogs just kind of kill them. So it works out pretty nicely. It's not a bad combo. It seems like there's some synergy, even if it's not the strongest thing in the world. And early Husky, you don't really see that too often, because, like, I mean, Husky, it only buffs the thing that doesn't have food, and if you don't have food, you're probably going to be lacking behind. You usually want, like, garlic or melon or something on your team. So it's not a great scaler, but in this case, I mean, it's buffing 3 things. It's worth taking, I think. Run into this camel peacock build. Unfortunately, the mosquito, it's only level 2 right now, so it's only hitting 2 units, and it's not going to apply weakness on their strongest units. Bit of RNG involved here, but there's the pair. So now I think it's out of range, or was it already out of range? It's dealing 6 damage, so yeah, that got it out of range, which is perfect. The Husky's still going to die. I could put the Husky in front if I want to. The Toad, if you don't know, it starts with 2 charges. Level 2 is 4 charges. Level 3 is 6 charges. So ideally, if I get level 3, then everything will be weakened on their team. But we weakened everything on their team there, and surprisingly, it worked out. That seemed like a pretty good round. Like, there's some teams you don't think you would actually beat with this team, but it somehow just magically works out. Okay, I got early Snake, which is another sniper that's considerable, and also a cow. So now I'm definitely going to be selling this Husky for this cow and then put in the Snake. Makes sense. Getting a lot of health is certainly helpful for this team. So put weakness on their hedgehog and then on everything else too. The level 2 toad has really made a difference. Like, this team, it doesn't really work super well until level 2 toad, it feels like. And go ahead and pineapple the last hedgehog. Even though next turn I unlock 1-ups, the chances of me actually finding the specific 1-up that I want, I did quite a few runs, and quite a few of them died just because I never found 1-ups, which was a little sad because everything was set up so perfectly. But again, this team has a limit. It's got no scaling. when you got no scaling, you gotta win the early rounds, and there was a lot of draws, so it's not looking great. I have to win, what, 6 more rounds with this? Turn 16. You can't imagine a 14-14 is going to hold up with a 16-16 on turn 16. But there we go. That was a pretty solid win right there. You can see it took out a team of like 20-ish attack and health units. Pretty solid. And now I can go for either 2 level 2 hedgehogs or level 3 mosquito, level 2 snake, level 3 toad. I mean, pretty much anything here is going to work. And I decided to go for level 3 toad. I'm not actually sure if that's really necessary. Because right now, I'm applying weakness on at least 4 things on their team. But I guess just in case. So, unfortunate that I didn't hit any of their blowfish, but the hedgehog's going to apply weakness on their blowfish, and it's going to cause a massive draw. What a fun round. Just rocks thrown everywhere. Just love seeing rocks thrown. And there's a 1-up. I'm so excited to see a 1-up. It's perfect. And now I can put you in front, and I get an extra trigger off of this snake, which is probably going to be dealing 8 damage instead of just the 5 because of the weakness, which is pretty solid. And maybe get level 2 snake, start dealing like 13 damage. I could even try to put in tiger snake if I wanted to like combine the hedgehogs maybe. I don't know, that seems a little greedy. Or I could also put in fly, get an extra trigger that way. The problem is, like, okay, another solid win, but this team obviously will lose to like snipers. If anything deals like any damage to my snake, it's gonna die to the hedgehogs, which will be unfortunate. I think like the mosquito and the toad are probably out of range. There's another 1-up. I should actually buy that or at least freeze it. It's unfortunate. Like I guess my logic was it's already dealing 4 damage. A 1-up would just be 2 damage twice. But you gotta remember the weakness. Myself. I'm just talking to myself. Obviously, I assume that you guys remembered because you're very smart and I'm just, you know, the YouTuber guy. Uh, which means I'm dumb, I guess, is what I'm insulting everyone who uses YouTube or posts on YouTube. Doesn't seem like a smart move. But yeah, I should definitely take a 1-up there. That would be very helpful. Instead, I rolled past it, got some chocolates, go for level 2 hedgehog. Once I get a level 2 hedgehog, I was like, okay, well then I can buy the 1-up. But what if I just never see 1-up again? Anyway, there's tiger lynx. Unfortunate that it kills my snake, but we still lose, okay? I say we as in me. I lost, but that's okay. I still got 1 more life. I do need 3 more wins. It's turn 15. There's a bunch of turkey legs, which might be worth buying, but I decided to just greed it out. Roll for level 2 hedgehog, roll for snake. There's level 2 hedgehog. Really doesn't do a ton. I mean, it's only plus 2 more attack. A 1-up would have been really nice now, because that would make it deal a whole bunch more. And then I run into the same team again, it looks like, which is just really sad. But the breakpoints actually work out much better this time, and somehow I win. I think that was the same team, or it was almost the same team, but that was nice. Just somehow won that round. I guess it depends on kind of the weakness RNG with the mosquito. And there's level 2 snake. Perfect. So that's exactly what I wanted to see. And now this team is pretty much complete. Besides like the 1-up on the hedgehog again that I missed, I'm a little sad, but again, there's so many lynxes in this late game. But look at all the weakness and another win. Like that was definitely a really strong team right there. They had a good stats and I was actually able to beat them. So that was pretty cool. Like that shows that this even has some late game potential. It's not going to be a fully good scaling team, but like not much actually beats a fully good scaling team besides another scaling team. So just for us like tempo options, just this mosquito, toad, hedgehog, snake, it's pretty cool. And then a level 3 50-50 leopard just absolutely ruins my day. If I just had 1 more hedgehog, maybe I could have like somehow eked out a draw. I don't think so. I think we would have lost regardless. But still, a fun team. Got to 9 wins. And yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.